Hi, I'm Rob.
And I'm also a Rob. And today we're talking about Final Fantasy, but not the one that everybody is looking forward to.
The one where you push cars.
No, it's not that one. It's the one which was showcased first at this year's E3 and came as kind of a surprise to a lot of people. And it was World of Final Fantasy.
Yeah, that was a bit of a left field one. I think they announced it last year, but we didn't really know much about it. You know,
Yeah, I don't think I heard anything that far back, though.
I think they threw a few screenshots around here and there, but there wasn't really anything, any solid information about exactly what kind of game it was going to be.
Yeah, that's a fair enough assessment, but I'll be honest. I'll come right out and say it. I had basically no expectations for this. I thought it just kind of looked like a bit of a flash in the pan. It didn't really have much substance as a reveal trailer, but having played it now, I could kind of say that I was a bit on the wrong side to say that. The
Okay.
reason I and many other people thought, "Oh, what's this? This is pointless," is because of its look. Chibi characters, the small characters, or as the game is styled, I prefer to say they look like Funko Pop characters because they really do.
Well,
They really do.
the actual, I think the more accurate term is super deformed or SD.
Whatever they're called, I
Yeah.
mean, the little ones are called LILIKINs, and the normal size characters are called Giants, but Giants with a J.
Hang on. Normal size characters?
Well, normal size is in there's like the super deformed tiny ones, and there's the more realistically proportioned characters.
Is this kind of Final Fantasy meets Gulliver's Travels?
No, because you can kind of flip between the two, and I get there's a point to be made in that. But what's interesting is though, I kind of could say we kind of could say it relatable to the recent and surprisingly successful as well Dragon Quest builders,
What you
as in
make?
both this and World of Final Fantasy are like two. I guess you could call them sort of the elder statesmen of Japanese RPGs. There's a few others that sort of fill out that list.
Yeah.
But these two have been repackaged and restylized to appeal to a younger audience. Now, I'm not saying like chibi style is automatically like targeting it to a younger audience. It's more of an executionary thing. But before I get to that, there's a story. You play a brother and a sister, Lann and Reynn. The sister is the more forceful one. She's
Okay.
got a solid head on her shoulders. And the brother is basically an idiot. A bit of an iron one at that because his insistence and puns kind of just great. There's a feature at one point where you can say, "Oh, you can take shortcuts through the level," and he says, "Oh, that's super quick. If it was a haircut, it'd be called a buzz cut." Oh,
That's my level of joke.
yeah, yeah. But what's interesting about that though is it's set within a sort of the world's called Grimoire, which I'm pretty sure I've heard in a Final Fantasy before. It just sounds so familiar.
Are you sure it was Final Fantasy? Because there were the games. There was Grimoire, which was a game, and Grimoire's basically a book of spells that normally you'd call a grimoire a book of spells belonging to a witch or a wizard.
Well, that is kind of thematically similar. Then that does make sense. I know I knew I heard that word before. But as you start the game, there's nobody in the world, and there's one person who is there and gets a cup of coffee. She gets loads of like little gets loads of sugar. 12 are counted, and I thought, "Oof, that's a bit much." And it turns out that you live in a world called Nine Woods Hill.
All right. What?
Nine Woods Hill is sort of a place outside of time, and you are the only two people left in there because that world has effectively ended.
So hang on. The world is called Nine Woods Hill.
Yeah, it's like separate realities and worlds that you can sort of jump between.
Because Nine Woods Hill sounds more like like an address, like on a house on a street.
Yeah, it does a bit, but it's nine the spelling rather than the number. But from that, you meet this character, the one who was in the coffee shop, and it's effectively she is God, and she instills you with all these abilities, the abilities to jump through worlds with gates, and guiding you through that world is it's a mirage called Tama. Very, very cute character. Bit of an annoying speech thing. I'm assuming it's adapted from the Japanese. Japanese characters tend to have sort of this weird little tell at the end of sentences, like anime in particular, just to sort of say that's an eccentric person.
Like Desu and
Yeah.
yeah, stuff like that. Yeah,
Rero and Desu and all sorts of
Yeah.
things. But this Tama says, but given how annoying the brother is, that becomes a very sort of cute idiosyncrasy rather than annoying thing that it is in first. But mirages, there's like basically it's Pokemon. You collect these mirages to increase your strength, but instead of keeping them in like a ball and throwing them out when you use them, it's a much more interesting way of doing that. You basically have stacks, large, medium, and small. If you're a big character in your big form, you're a large. If you're in your chibi style, you are a medium. And effectively, you can have like 3 characters sat on top of each other, and they have like their moves are synchronized into one. And there's a great deal of strategy in what sort of people you use in that, what sort of monsters you use in that stack.
Okay,
which is interesting. It's not something I've ever experienced in an RPG. So I like it a lot.
So they basically make a pyramid kind of thing.
Pyramid of monsters and your characters.
I have not seen anything like that since Battle of the Planets.
I really like it. I really, really like it. It's fun and it's...
Yeah.
And also another thing about that, I mean, you can say, it's like Ni no Kuni, because the character design's all cute and sort of very sweet, and the tone of the story has like an edge of darkness to it, like Ni no Kuni did. But I think the thing which World of Final Fantasy does better than that level 5 game was the fact that when you're leveling your characters in Ni no Kuni, you only leveled what you used.
Yeah.
As in this, again, playing into the whole idea of it skewing to a younger audience. Doesn't matter what you use, everything's leveled up.
Okay, that's pretty cool.
So that's it's really nice,
Well, that makes the leveling easier as well. I see what you mean about it aiming at a younger audience, because it means less kind of monster management.
Yeah, it also extends. I mean, it's a classic battle, turn-based battle, but I think that's its biggest problem. I think it's very fun, but it has that sort of timeline where you have to wait and wait while characters get things done. And the problem with that is if you haven't got like a load of characters on screen, you can just be pressing like the R1 button. I played it on PlayStation 4. Also available on the Vita. You can press like the R1 button just to make the phase go quicker.
Okay.
So that's a problem because it can make the battles a lot longer than they need to be honest.
So, I mean, given that you can jump from world to world, it sounds a lot like Kingdom Hearts.
Well, it's not so much like that. I mean, you jump from world to world, but it's mainly based in one world. You can sort of jump between certain points in that world through gates.
I see. So it's less Kingdom Hearts and more kind of Crash Bandicoot, I suppose.
I guess.
How everything was centered around one world, but you could jump into different worlds and basically do missions in those worlds, but then you went back to your original world. Yeah.
It's introducing kids to, I say kids, it still has like a level of detail and a level of sort of intrigue that would be appealing to people who've been playing Final Fantasy for a long time, like myself or you, Rob. So, but the storytelling is told in sort of very basic lines. So there's that.
How basic?
I'm enjoying it, and it's thrown in sort of classic scenes from like Final Fantasy history. Like the very, very famous introduction scene from Final Fantasy X with Yuna doing the dance.
Oh, the Dance of the Dead kind of thing.
Yeah. She doesn't do it in that sort of connotation. It's a much lighter tone to the game.
I was going to say, if this is a game aimed at a younger audience, the last thing you want is a Dance of the Dead.
The bad guys are obviously more severe than they would be in a kid's game otherwise. Because there's got to be some sort of stakes to it. But yeah, it's largely aimed at kids. And I think that's where its great strength comes from. I mean, I am enjoying it, but I can see every little decision, every design decision, every character decision, it's motivated towards making it appealable, like accessible to as broad an audience as possible. And when Final Fantasy's done that in the past, look what happened. Final Fantasy 13 happened.
Yeah, it tried... Well, it wasn't so much that it was aimed at kids, it was just trying to aim more at the Western market, but they misunderstood what the Western market actually wanted.
Exactly. Yeah.
I think with 15 they might have actually they've got very close to it with 15. I think, but I think 13 was a dud.
Yeah. It feels like forever since I last played a Final Fantasy game because of that trilogy.
Do you know the sad part? Right, the sad part about 13 is that everyone slated 10 Part 2, right?
Yeah.
But 10 Part
Got far
2,
worse than that.
the thing is, 10 Part 2 was actually closer to what the Western market wanted than 13 was.
It was indeed, yeah. But the sad fact about this is, it's not going to be viewed as anything other than a stopgap for Final Fantasy 15. And honestly, I think it deserves a lot more than that. It does some really interesting design decisions, and it's a really vivid and colourful and beautiful world that you inhabit.
Yeah.
So, I think it's a lot skews younger. There's something here for everybody who's like Final Fantasy in the past.
Okay. Yeah, I mean, I can kind of understand what you mean. Without having actually played the game, it's difficult to fully comprehend how the game actually plays, and but I've seen enough of the design, I've seen the trailers and everything like that, so I do understand how it's supposed to look, and I've got some idea of the gameplay. But I think this is one of those ones where I'm gonna have to sit down and play it.
Yeah, the cutiness can be a bit hard to stomach at times, but that's just something you have to deal with.
Hey,
but otherwise, it's fun.
You're fine with Ni no Kuni. You should have no problems with this game.
Well, yeah, it's a little bit cutesier, but still.
Okay.
I'm fun with this. I'm making no excuses for this. I'm not saying guilty pleasure. I'm not throwing those sort of labels at it. I'm quite simply just having fun with all the Final Fantasy. And I actually want to finish this before I start in Final Fantasy 15, so there you have it.
Wow, it's got you hooked then.
It kind of has, yeah. It's weird.
You didn't expect that either.
One final thing I will say is it does have that sort of child's eye on there because it has chapters and it does fly through the chapters.
All right, cool.
Like really, really quickly.
Yeah.
Dungeons are short as well, so yeah, there's that as well.
But that just makes it easier to get into, I suppose, if you're a more seasoned player.
Yeah, there's that too. But anyway, that is Final Fantasy, World of Final Fantasy even. And I've been playing that on PS4, and that does come with my recommendation. And we're back soon with more reviews, which are probably totally different.
Yeah.
Click the like if you agree with us, or if you disagree, comment below. And we shall see you next time on the Geek Show's YouTube channel.